I've been on the road, no sleep all night. I'm staying on these beds to the sunrise. Told them I came up by the cold line. So nothing to it all, it's the glow on. Told them I was down, but I rise up, ride up. Never switch lanes, I just ride up, ride up. Hit the block, then I fly off, fly off.
Hello and welcome to Nye's World. Wherever you're listening from, welcome. Whether you're on your way to work, heading to the gym, cooking dinner, spending time with your family, or winding down after a long day, thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. I'm Nye, and I'm honored to welcome you into my world. Every book you hear on this channel was written by me, Nirobiey Nye Robinson, and every page was created to take you somewhere unforgettable. So get comfortable. Let your imagination take the lead. And let's turn the first page together. Tonight, we're beginning my novel, Legend. Before we begin, here's a glimpse into tonight's novel.
She walked away from the streets, but the streets weren't done with her. And walking away comes with a price. Legend built a new life, a business, future, a family. But the past never forgets, and love is never simple. To protect her son, she became the storm. They buried the chaos. But some roots never die. The past made her. The future fears her. Available now on Amazon.
Chapter 1. Still Waters Run Deep. Legend's house was quiet, too quiet, not peaceful, but tense, like the air before a thunderstorm. The walls were clean, the floor spotless, the furniture still stylish, but everything felt hollow, the kind of silence that made your skin itch. Yeah, it looked good for Instagram, like stability, but if the walls could talk, they'd scream. It smelled like lavender and lies. The bed was made, but only on her side. His side was a battlefield of unwashed clothes, lost receipts, and a phone he never let her touch. The kitchen held untouched groceries, meals she cooked just to feel needed, even though most of them ended up cold on the plate. This was the part nobody saw, the picture-perfect frame around a woman who hadn't felt safe in weeks. Kimeni was slipping. Or maybe he already had, and she was just late to admit it. One minute he's sweet-talking like he invented romance, the next he moving like she ain't even in the room. That silent treatment, that shit cut deeper than words. He hadn't laid a hand on her, but the emotional bruises painted themselves daily in the way he dismissed her ideas, how he timed his compliments to control her highs, how he made her question her own damn intuition. She used to journal to cope, but even that had started to feel incriminating. She couldn't risk him reading her truth. Instead, she scribbled fake to-do lists, hiding her pain in plain sight. Grocery lists, errands, bullshit. She'd write, buy detergent, pay light bill, knowing damn well what she really wanted to write was save yourself. There were days she stood in the shower, long after the water ran cold, not because she was dirty, but because it was the only place she could cry without consequence. Half the time she wasn't even washing, just standing there, water running, trying to drown out her own thoughts. She'd lean her forehead against the tiles and whisper the same question on repeat. Is this love or just familiar pain? She was 10 when she first learned how to keep the peace by shrinking. Her mom was chaos, loud, fiery, unpredictable. Legend survived her love by being invisible. If her room was clean, if her voice was soft, if her tears stayed tucked behind a fake smile, maybe, just maybe, the storm would pass. But it never really did. The storm just changed names. There was one night that stayed with her. Her mother had thrown a glass across the kitchen. Legend didn't remember what triggered it, only that she ducked too slow. Blood on the floor, Grandma screaming, her little hands shaking, but she wiped the blood herself before anybody could touch her. That was her first lesson. Clean up the mess, even if it's killing you. And she'd been choking on that silence ever since. Now, years later, the silence between her and Kimani reminded her of those nights in her childhood bedroom, waiting for the yelling to start or the door to slam. She hated that kind of quiet. It meant walking on eggshells. It meant blame she couldn't trace. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. These days, even text messages felt heavy. Friends reached out, but she pulled back. Nobody could know she was breaking. Online, she played boss bitch, but in real life, she was crumbling. They saw her vacations, the matching outfits, the relationship goals, captions, but they didn't see the tears she wiped off her phone screen before posting. Deep down, she knew something was off, but she had built her entire image around being the one who had it together, the one who bounced back, the strong friend, the loyal one. And loyalty had a price, even if it cost her peace. Sometimes she fantasized about disappearing, not dying, just disappearing. Getting in her car and driving until her past couldn't follow. Changing her number, cutting her hair, opening a little salon in a quiet town where nobody knew her name. Sometimes she'd even catch herself Googling apartments out of state. It wasn't just a fantasy anymore, it was starting to look like a plan. She leaned against the counter, staring at the sink, full of dishes neither of them wanted to acknowledge. She couldn't tell if she was exhausted or just empty. Maybe both. The version of her that once dreamed about love had grown silent. This new version, she just wanted to breathe again without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Legend wasn't naive. She could feel it, the shift. Something was coming. Her past wasn't finished with her. And her heart, it was starting to whisper a name she'd buried long ago. Tree. But that door, if she opened it, she knew damn well her entire life would tilt. He'd been her safe space once. Not perfect, not drama-free. But Tree never made her feel small. He ain't raise his voice. He ain't play them mind games. He saw her. He'd sit in silence with her until her thoughts slowed down. And back then, just hearing his voice made her believe peace wasn't some fairy tale. That's why she left. Because loving him felt too much like healing. And she didn't know how to accept that kind of softness. Not when just hearing his voice made her believe peace wasn't some fairy tale, still at war with herself. Still the water was rising, and it was only a matter of time before she drowned in her own silence. Chapter 3. Good Girls Lie Too. Because the truth is, good girls lie too. They just lie prettier. And sometimes to themselves most of all. Legend hadn't meant to start lying. It just happened like missing one step on the stairs and pretending you didn't trip. One lie turned into a habit. Then the habit became a mask. And before she knew it, she was knee-deep in a life she barely recognized, still performing like she was the star of her own perfectly filtered drama. Kimeni was good to her, on paper secure, stable, consistent. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't raise his hand. He raised expectations. He wanted a woman who smiled on command, said the right things, and tucked her past into a quiet little box that stayed shut. But Legend, she was loud in silence, restless in routine. She smiled, but it didn't reach her soul anymore. Her phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m. Tree. The one person who never judged her thoughts, just listened. She stared at the screen longer than she should have. Then replied, "Yeah, can't sleep." The conversation was harmless until it wasn't. Until, "How you been?" turned into, "You always deserve more." Until, "I missed you all," you became code for, "I still see you even when he doesn't." That's when the emotional cheating started, not in the bed, in the mind, in the late night texts, the just checking on you, the voice notes that made her heart beat faster than it should have. Tree remembered things Kimeni never asked about. Her fear of thunderstorms, the way she used to hum when she cooked, the fact that she cried silently even as a kid. Every message from Tree felt like a rescue mission from a version of herself she was starting to forget. Kimeni would never understand. To him, loyalty was black and white. But to Legend, love lived in the gray area. She wasn't sleeping with Tree, not physically, but she was giving him the part of herself Kimani had stopped reaching for. And that made her feel like a hypocrite. A traitor in heels, a good girl who was breaking all her own rules. Some nights she'd delete the messages, then re-download them from the cloud. She couldn't fully let go, even though she knew she was playing with fire. But in those moments when Tree said, "You don't have to explain your hurt to me," she felt seen. And sometimes being seen felt more intimate than being touched. She kept up the act, though. Still cooked dinner, still kissed Kimani goodnight, still made love with her body while her mind drifted to conversations she wasn't supposed to be having. She didn't know what scared her more, getting caught or not feeling guilty. Because the truth was, good girls lie too. They just lie prettier. And sometimes to themselves most of all. It happened at a gas station off Edgewood. Legend wasn't there, but the universe didn't need her to be. Some meetings are divine, others straight up warnings. Kimani pulled in too fast, music loud, ego louder. He was dressed in labels, flossing like life didn't owe him a damn thing. He stepped out to grab Swishers and a Gatorade, scrolling through his phone without looking up. Tree had been posted already. Quiet, in the cut, black hoodie, black polo boots, distressed jeans, dripped in jewelry, lost in his thoughts, leaning against his ride, phone in hand, scrolling through YouTube. Kaimani brushed past him, way too close. Tree's head snapped up. "Aye, nigga, watch where the fuck you movin'," hand hovering near the Glock tucked in his waistband. Cold. Measured. Kaimani froze, eyes narrowing. "Chill, bro. I don't want no smoke," he said, smirking like it was a game. "Didn't even see you. Damn near blended in with the shadows." Tree didn't blink, didn't move, just stared. Kaimani chuckled under his breath, turning away like it meant nothing. But Tree knew exactly who he was. Legend's new nigga, Legend's mistake, a dude too loud for the quiet streets Tree ran. "Don't even know you playing with fire," he muttered under his breath. Tree could have ended it right there, could have put Kimani on the floor. But Tree wasn't reckless. He was patient, deadly patient, and Kimani, he had just been spared without even knowing it. Later that night, Legend's phone lit up again. Tree had sent a voice note, short, calm, dangerous. I still remember that laugh, the real one. "Don't lose her, Legend. Don't let that nigga kill her spirit." She didn't respond, just listen. Again and again, until sleep came, and even then, she dreamed in lies. Thank you for joining me for the very first episode of Legend. Today, we journeyed through chapters 1, 2, and 3, laying the foundation for everything that's about to unfold. Believe me, this is only the beginning. If you're enjoying the journey and want to read ahead, Legend is available on Amazon. You can find the link in the description below to grab your copy and follow along as each new episode is released. If you enjoyed today's reading, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. And to all my world walkers, thank you for spending your time in Nye's world. Your comments, your support, and your imagination help bring these stories to life. So let me know what you thought of today's episode in the comments below. I'm Nye. One mind, endless worlds. Until next time, world walkers, keep turning pages, keep your imagination alive, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legend.
I'm living for the high life. I was on them broke nights now.